Yo, how's it going there, folks? And welcome back to the wonderful world that is Etheria. Hello, how are you doing? I have something a little bit kind of cool for you today. On my travels around just the Thicc carries around the wonderful world of Etheria, I bumped into a very interesting little build, you know, that you can kind of push with up into like you know, like the high floors sort of things. But I didn't actually have the stuff and the things to be able to actually follow along with the build. So I actually came up with a bit of a not exactly a makeshift, but I took the things that I had, you know, I kind of, you know, fiddle around with a couple of things, and I'm going to show you what it is that I have right here for y'all today. So, hello, welcome, like, share, subs if you are going to enjoy this video. Let's go. So, Squad Alpha, Drakens, Barrage, we have a Sly, Lava, Wumpers, we have EMP, Kamikazes, you know, nothing too particularly hard. You know, we have a headstrong flyer lane, but that's all great. So I am just going to quickly spam down this this interesting little build it is that I have here, and then you all can kind of see the shenanigans that's kind of going on here, and hopefully you will enjoy. So boop, boop. No cyborgs in the lane, so that's very nice. We're going to slam another Flameaura. Or fire damage, please, thank you. So I'm going to squeeze one of these bad boys in here, like so. We're also going to take one of these bad boys and swing it over this way. Yes, looking mighty spicy, mighty spicy. Cypher's Lava Vanguard, the rows that are armored and soft spot. Ew, that can be nasty, you know, like sometimes. I have to remember that the line for this is a little bit, yeah, it gets a little bit kind of like wonky here. So like in between these two little plants that you can see here, just for this particular level where the street, you know, it's a nice little spot right here. So a little bit of a boop action, and a bit more of a boop action. We have to be careful where it is that we place this particular node, because we want to make sure that we can catch all the destructive pylons everywhere to all the stuffs and the things that we do decide to place within said lane. We're going to slam down that like so. Fly on over here, take a little peek. Okay, so we're going to go here, I think, and then here. We're going to slam down something like so. I think we'll go roughly about here. Yes. Okay, it looks like I'm actually running relatively low on the good old DU factor. So it looks like we might actually have to compensate a little bit somewhere. Somehow. Right, okay, well, I did want to keep this a little bit further back over here, but I'm actually starting to think if I was to build this up ever so slightly, it would have a little bit of coverage, you know, like down in this lane. I'm very curious if I need to actually have 2 Flameauras within this lane. Lady Orcs, Pilot on, Vanguard, bunch more. There's more mobs up here. Bunch of mobs up there. Well, actually, there's not a whole ton of flyers over that side, so yeah, we could potentially just be happy with that over there. There's more of a mob count that's kind of happening over there, though. Maybe the mistake that I think I did make the right call there. It's like 2 weapon man. I'm still kind of like getting used to this, getting used to it. Let's just like, okay, so let's take this one Flameaura out, even though I'm not too sure if it's the right call, but we'll do that because we kind of need reflect beams down, so we need to, you know, I need to compensate for the use, and I think that's probably the only place that I can lift out the DU without like, we're going to have a whole bunch of healthy mobs here, and you'll see why in a second or so why I'm taking a little bit of time here to consider the placement of everything. Flyer lanes, basically the way that this goes is that you would have 2 nodes within those lanes, and then you would just have 1 node within your other lanes that do not have flyers. It actually also depends on how many flyers it is that you have. So right now it's just EMPs and kamikaze bombers. So I actually don't need to have, you know, like a massive wide spread of lots of damage, because there isn't like a whole plethora of flyers coming out. So it's, you know, if there was Dargons coming out of that side, then, you know, I might have a bit of an issue where I might need to alleviate maybe a touch more within these lanes in the middle. But for the way that the lanes will pour out the mobs, you know, we could probably handle it with a little bit of hero DPS, but I'm going to try and not to do any DPS whatsoever. Right. Okay, so what is it that we actually have rocking and rolling for y'all? So, again, this is my makeshift build of this. I will leave a link in the description so that you can actually go and check out the proper way to do this. So the main focus of the build is actually a stunning revelations build. And I do not have controller within this build. But what I actually have is a poison servo, so that was what I decided to go for. Because I don't have the damage that I could apply with the controller with the stun revelations, I decided to, you know, add in an earth proton beam to give me the extra damage that I'm going to need with the build to kind of get petrification going. You know, like, petrification's obviously good all round. Obviously, we're looking to get that 5% extra damage. So the Earth Proton Beam Tenacity Defense Rate, it's overclocked when, you know, for this particular map, the defense rate cap isn't actually that much of an issue because we do not have any frosty orcs within the lane. You know, we build differently and appropriately depending on what it is that's coming, so you might need to have a couple more relics and adjustments just to kind of deal with, say, like frosty lanes, Kursakazi lanes. You know, I've got a whole bunch of stuff and things that I could use, but what we have here, I'm actually rocking this anti-melee range and defense rate here. We have encroaching flames with mass destruction, and I did have vampiric empowerment in there, but I can actually go and squeeze over and do the more appropriate thing that everybody else would probably be using as well. Encroaching flames, mass destruction, and destruction. Have a little look at my Flameauras here at tier 1. 4.11 million. Wow, now that's kind of spicy. Of course, keep in mind we have maxed out 999 points here in the Ascension, and I also have 5 points more here in terms of AP, as well as crit chance and crit damage, which is, you know, it's spiking these bad boys up, as you can see with in the brackets, the extras that I get from the AP. That's pretty much what we're seeing there next to the inside tooltip. So that's that for the Flameaura. I'll start over. I've obviously explained the proton beam, destructive pylon, frosty beams, defense rate, you know, just all the good stuffs and things that are on there. Boost aura with boosted grasp, destruction and boosted power. We have diverse power, diverse crit damage and defense range. And then again, we were talking about the weapon man with poison. We have mass destruction, vicious strikes and deadly strikes. Now you're going to want to obviously be careful with this when it comes down to the frosty lanes. You're just going to want to maybe potentially pay attention. You know, it's I kind of wanted to have these overcapped with their defense rate, but if you just place these back a little bit, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. When I first saw this build with Mynol, it was basically if I stand next to this Flameaura like this, you would have the node, you know, basically sitting right here. I do have a I'll probably have to showcase another one of these where we do have a frosty lane, and you'll see that it actually does work. It does work well, but it'll be dependent on your own actual initial power, because obviously the Flameaura here is doing a lot of damage, and we have mass destruction here as well on the weapon manufacturer too. But the big bulk of the damage that you're actually going to get is going to be from the Flameaura. So this is more of a Flameaura focused build, but it's not at the same time. Like, for me personally anyway, we're stepping away from using the weapon man to have Storm on it. Like, this is basically a showcase to show you guys that Storm is just not needed for the weapon manufacturer at all. Like, I don't even have the build it was that I seen, but you're genuinely going to be probably pretty damn surprised on what it is that happens here. Like, you'll be probably pleasantly surprised on what transpires here. So I'm looking basically here, like, there's a Lava Guardian here. I would like to think that he would cause a problem because he's just going to have a lot of health. These guys down here have armor. Everything down here is all magic damage. The far left hand side has pilot on. Conditions. Enemies take increased damage per condition they're under. The poison obviously is going to count as a condition. The stun maybe potentially counts. Nah, it doesn't count towards that. But as soon as they get onto this earth proton beam here, that will apply. Obviously, that'll be them under a condition as well. So that's effectively going to do, you know, more damage for those guys. But it was more upgrading this side because we have a headstrong flyer lane. You know, that's something that I'm going to have to definitely keep an eye on. But let's rock and roll and hit the button, and then just kind of see what happens. Like, I've kind of been doing this with like 2 players, if you would like to call it, and I haven't really given it a good go solo yet. So let's see how well it does, and see if it'll actually hold up without me having the support of somebody else's AP to add into the mix. Of course, I can apply hero damage where need be, but I want to try and make this as good as a showcase as possible without lifting a finger, unless I, like, you know, I absolutely have to, just so then we can kind of push through the wave and you guys can actually see what's going on. But as you can see so far, I haven't lifted a finger yet. And don't worry, we're going to get to what, you know, the potential, you know, thought process would be right now, which would be, Omni, you're doing Onslaught. You would usually tell us what floor it is that you're doing. I'm holding off on that right now, just for, you know, just for a quick little moment, just so you guys can maybe just take this in. It's like, so just soak it in. Like, just soak it in. Just soak it in. There we go. Okay, so headstrong flyers, like, I do feel like that's where, you know, I would like to apply my attention to, is those guys. And then, you know, maybe even come over and have a look to see what's happening with, you know, the lanes that are maybe bulking up like this a little bit. So let's go and see it. Like, do I need to participate? It's looking like it's looking like I'm not needing to lift a finger at all. At all. Is the Lava Guardian, like, I'm pretty, like, I like, just, yeah, just, it doesn't matter. Like, you're like, just get out here. Just get out here. So boop. Taking this side up to tier 3 again. Obviously a Lava Guardian. Here we'll just sink in one upgrade. Right, okay, so here we'll have a slight problem with Thicc. I think we're going to have to potentially gun witch for that bad boy. We'll crank that up a couple of times, but we want to ensure that this side lane here with these flyers are just, they're completely done. You know, they're solid. We don't really need to worry about those guys too much. And after we get pushed past this wave, I feel like we're I mean, like, the upgrades are in. The wave held on the first one. The only thing that I could see pushing past any of this is going to be the bosses, really. Like, it's just the bosses. I actually genuinely wish I had the proper setup to show you guys what it was that I'd seen. I did actually get all the information from Mynol, and I did go out my way to set some of it up so that we can have not only a link in the Twitches, by the way, for, you know, if y'all are interested in catching me live streaming on the Twitches. I'm there quite regularly, you know, you can usually catch me there. There's a bunch of people there as well, you know, but yeah, you can always catch me there and see the stuffs in the things. Right, okay, let's... So, first off, clear the path. Oh, it looks like I'm going to need to... nuke him. There we go. Had to switch to the monk there just to solidify the damage there, since he did have power block. Okay. Now let's see this again. So flyers just just completely annihilated. Like the DPS from the Flameaura, like, it's just insane. I just, no, don't do that. No, I like AFK there, pet. AFK ain't nothing but a G thing. Shout out to Wobogo. Shout out to Wobogo. You can always check him streaming and stuffs and things as well. Let's so boop. Boop again, it's almost like the same mentality. Like if there was a whole bunch of Dargons that were here, you would be upgrading this side as a priority. Okay, nope. Don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about that. I want to say, just for the sake of it, like we could, like, we'll take one of these all the way up, then I'll jump back over here, and then we'll take another one of these ones up, and then what is it that I have left? Well, like, I guess so. Like, here you go. Like, let's continue, shall we? Continue for this absolute, just, this is like, honestly, like, it's just such a beast mode. It's so good. It's so good. And then if you think about how many defenses it is that we're just rocking right now, like, and the proton beam here, just to add in for the petrification, like, I do genuinely wish I had the build to show y'all what, you know, what it was. But like I said, I will have a link in the description so you can actually go and see the stuff and things that's there. This is me just giving you like a little showcase of how it is that you would build for it. So the two Flameauras, again, like I said, you're standing next to the side here, then you would place a node here, and it's the same over here, then another node. So basically just in line with this, almost just slightly next to the boost aura, you know, just on each side here for the nodes, especially when it comes down to this, you know, the side lanes with the flyers. That's where you would add in the double nodes pretty much for the lanes. When it comes down to lanes that don't have flyers, you mostly just stick to single nodes. Okay, let's see, can we squeeze in and get Mr. Roller Man out of there? I don't think we're going to be able to, till we can clear the pack a little bit. Excuse me. Oh, no. I was kind of rude, I'm not gonna lie. Rude. I'm back. That's it. Revenge shall be mine. Boop. You know what? Right, okay, fine. It's magic damage. Let's just see ya. That was mean. There really isn't that much else left for me to upgrade. Right here, I've still got, like, there's one more Flameaura that I didn't max out here. Let's see if I could there's got to be mana over there. Yep, there we go. So wave 4, that's all the Flameauras. They're all completely maxed out. The only thing left to upgrade would be obviously boost auras. Like, I actually don't have any LSAs on the field, you know. Depending on the map it is that you would have, you can add in extras, but for the bulk of the build, this is pretty much it. And then we'll just kind of keep on flowing and going. Again, as you can see though, like just there's not been any complications other than, you know, a small pause for Thicc. You know, just pay attention to the lanes, obviously, for some of the lanes that you just don't have reflect beams in, so that when it comes across to those particular situations, and you know, you're kind of ready for them. You should always be shifting in between waves, because that should be your biggest priority, is actually those nasty bosses. I know how we all love Drakenlord. You know, we all love him when we're just standing AFK. You know, just like we could do right now. Right now. Right, okay, let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. Last time. This one's, I would say, is the more scary one. That lava guardian's actually doing a hell of a job there, keeping her at bay. But I really do feel like she's just going to push through it, to be fair. Oh. Yeah, see if it wasn't preoccupied there. That was not preoccupied. Like look over here, like Dreadbone's gone. He was just. It's because of pilot on no for this lane. That's why. That's how he was able to get wrecked. The pilot on just did so much extra damage. Yeah, like there's no like extra added benefits to this lane. They're two mutators that just, it doesn't benefit you and it doesn't benefit the mobs themselves either. You know, but particularly inside this lane. Look at it again. Oh, I'm getting stuck in stuffs over here. Yeah, inflict slow with our attacks. It's whatever soft spot. It's extra resistance, but we have a petrification, so like we're pretty much stripping them of that particular, you know, soft spot. Yeah, like I said, there's no plus or minuses to this lane in particular. Obviously, we have a plus here with armored. Like that's huge for us, especially if we're doing a build that's like this. Power block, obviously we want to kill everything with our own fists, you know, melees, physical damage, you know, with the monk. You know, abilities won't do anything, you know, so like Hadoukens, like pole smashes, you know, even your gun witch with the, you know, popping off abilities and stuff like that. It's not going to do any, like, it'll do a little bit of damage, but nothing much. And then obviously, of course, pilot on conditions, poison, oil, freeze, you know, so we've basically got poison and freeze in here and petrification. You know, we've got a whole plethora of things that's happening on here. So yeah, we're on wave 5, and again, I know you're probably wondering, you know, what onslaught floor, but don't worry, we will get there. It's like we're almost there. We're almost done. Almost done. Let's go. But yeah, this is the, like, trust me, if you guys could, like, when you do check out the link in the description, and if you're able to actually follow along with the build that's there, or even with this build, like this is just another take on the build, and it could just be done in a different way, you know. Like I said, it was a build that I saw. I found out the deets, and I was very curious as to what it was. This is just my interpretation of the build itself, just because I don't have the controller stunning revelations and rate. You know, I have poison stunning revelations and rate, so that's what I was going to use. And because obviously there's a nice chunk of damage that you get with the controller that comes along with the weapon man. So I was trying to figure out, you know, what it was that I could do to, you know, to kind of bring my defenses up to that particular damage threshold as well. You still not out of there yet? There we go. So for me, it was the earth. Pretty much, you know, I had a poison weapon man, you know, put an earth proton beam down. It makes sense, right? It's so logical. So logical. The 5% extra damage you get from petrification, it's so hard, like, not to have that in a lot of cases, because it's just more damage, you know. Put down 2 defenses that would stun something over put down 2 defenses that's going to stun something and do 5% more damage. I would like to assume that Warbleed might potentially, well, he's totally stun locked right there. It's just like he's chipping. His health is actually chipping away, like actually relatively slowly. I'm not going to lie. I thought it would. Oh wait. Was it a diminishing return or something? Yeah, I think that's what it was. There's a diminishing return right there. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, we're finally going to get to the question that you're going to probably want to ask yourself. Now, please do keep in mind the gilded shards, my AP, and obviously the ascension that I can put into my talent caps as well. Please keep that in mind for this build. I'm not entirely sure how well it's going to work on people that don't have AP and maybe essentially potentially not having, you know, some of the gilded shards here. Like Encroaching Flames gilded is like kind of huge when it comes round to the Flameaura. You've got Mass Destruction. I don't think it's going to matter too much here if you don't have a gilded destruction, but that's obviously going to help you out. The utilization of having the 2 Mass Destructions is definitely huge, so it's not that hard for people to get both the Mass Destructions nowadays. There's a lot of people that would help you with primes. Vicious Strikes is relatively easy to get from Masteries. You'll soon learn about that. A Gilded Defense Strike here with Deadly Strikes would definitely help you out a lot. So that's one thing to obviously keep in mind. Boost Aura is going to probably be huge just because of all the extra power it is that you're going to have on the fields that you're using just 2 soul defenses. We're basically just going for a good portion of major damage, but we do have an extra added crowd control added into the mix with the Stunning Revelations and adding in the proton beam with the earth. But like I said, this was the makeshift build that I made. If you check the link in the description, it'll take you somewhere so that you could see the build that I had seen while I was on my journey and Thicc carries, as I had mentioned before, around Etheria. So, what floor was it? It was floor 900, baby. Hashtag Flameaura. Thank you very much for stopping by. I do hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, night. Why don't you stop on by sometimes? And thanks again. Take it easy. Ew. Hi. Ew. Hi. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Flameaura. Oh yeah, baby.